Why were you placed in a narcissist's life? Well, it's not random. You weren't placed in a narcissist's life by accident. It's because they were the mirror that you have a choice to face. And I'm going to talk about 4 pillars: our mirror, what that reveals, a reframe, and the integration. So, pillar number 1, this is our mirror. For many years, I looked outside of myself for love and validation. And I kept repeating the same relationships, but with different faces. Relationships with people who were toxic, who just gave me breadcrumbs of love. And I accepted it, thinking that was love. Until one day I hit rock bottom. And in that moment, I realized something I didn't want to admit was the common denominator. I was part of the reason I kept attracting narcissists and toxic relationships. And it was like 2 magnets being pulled towards each other, my lack of self-worth meeting their excess. And once I was willing to confront that hard truth, everything shifted. And I could finally take responsibility and accountability for how I had been searching outside of myself for love, chasing validation and desperately wanting to be seen, while abandoning and ignoring myself. And then it clicked. I mean, why else would I have stayed so long? Because I lacked self-love and self-worth. I lacked my own value. If my own cup had been full, I never would have settled. Nor have I been drawn to people who only confirmed my belief, my core belief that I wasn't enough. And that's why narcissists show up as mirrors of lack, and they don't appear by chance. They reflect back to us the very places inside of us that need healing. Narcissists are human mirrors. They don't show you who you truly are. It's not about believing what they tell us, but they reflect the parts that we've ignored, the parts that we've rejected and outlawed, and maybe the cracks where we've been people-pleasing, the places you've silenced your own needs, the times you've shrunk yourself just to keep the peace. And here's the thing, that's not weakness. That's your openness, your empathy, your generosity, your compassion, like such beautiful qualities. But without self-respect to anchor them, they can become entry points. And remember, a narcissist's currency is your energy and your life force. The narcissist's role isn't to love you. A narcissist's role is to wake you up. Pillar number 2, what that reveals. So when you attract a narcissist, they push past your nose, they take more than they give, and every time you bend, silence yourself, or settle for breadcrumbs, that's a reflection. It reveals exactly where you may have been too passive. It shows what you allowed in exchange for the smallest scraps of attention. This isn't about weakness. It's about recognizing where empathy and openness become those entry points, because without self-respect to anchor them, those qualities can leave you exposed. But that's the wake-up call, to build boundaries not from fear, but from deep self-respect. Because boundaries aren't about keeping others out, they're about keeping you intact. Pillar number 3, the reframe. So let's talk about the polarity of lack and excess. Narcissists live in excess. They're grandiose, they have entitlement, they feel superior. And who are they drawn to? The ones who feel the lack within themselves. Their inflated self-worth matches our buried not enough, our lack. Their too much fits our not enough, like puzzle pieces. Unfortunately, distorted ones. But here's the truth. Polarity isn't wrong. It's simply pointing to where we've handed away our power. And that's why the attraction feels magnetic until it shatters. And when it shatters, that breaking is the gift. What if the narcissist wasn't here to destroy you, but to realign you? Life was showing me exactly where I had abandoned myself. And the blessing, although extremely painful and messy, was the chance to shift my focus back to me. What do I need? What care do I deserve? What would the most amazing relationship look like to me? What would it look like to stop outsourcing my love and instead fill my own cup with that love that's already within me? That's the hidden gift, the opportunity to make yourself the center again, to choose you, not the other. And we're taught to see life in duality, right? Good or bad, right or wrong. But what if this isn't wrong? What if this is an opportunity, a painful, messy, necessary opportunity to realign with yourself? How about instead of, they destroyed me? Very well could have. But what if that's reframed into, they revealed me to myself? Or instead of, why me? What about, can you grasp on the perspective of, this happened for me instead of this happened to me? And that's the shift from judgment to awareness, from punishment, often self-punishment, to pivoting. It's like saying, you can't keep living small, you can't keep abandoning yourself. And this shows up for us to bring that into our awareness. Part 4, or pillar 4, the integration. You're never the same person, ever, after experiencing a narcissist. And that can be the best thing that happens to you. Because when you stop abandoning yourself, you grow stronger, more confident, and you finally feel good in your own skin. And here's what I realized. I wasn't rebuilding from trauma. I was rebuilding from my power. I didn't go back to who I was before the chaos. I became somebody entirely new. Someone who sets boundaries out of self-respect. Someone who chooses themselves as the foundation. And someone who no longer begs for love, but embodies it. And that's when everything changes. That's when you stop attracting people who feed off your insecurities and start attracting people who meet you at your healed level. That's when peace becomes your new reality. And peace isn't boring, it's powerful. And here's the ripple effect. When you heal, it doesn't just transform your life. Your children feel it, your friends feel it, and your friends may change, and your community feels it. And you have the power to stop the pattern. You become the chain breaker, the pattern disruptor. Was it unfair this landed on your shoulders? Maybe. It's also why you were chosen, because you can carry it. You can transmute it and turn suffering into your own sovereignty. And that's a power that no one can take away. So here's your invitation. I invite you to ask yourself, where am I settling? Where am I still searching outside for the love that's already within me? Where have I been tolerating what no longer serves me? Write it down, speak it out. Because the moment you choose yourself, you shift the polarity, you stop settling, you stop attracting takers. And you start attracting love, respect, and peace, the true mirrors of your worth. And remember, you're not alone. Thousands of us are breaking free, raising our worth, our frequency, our vibration, and choosing peace over chaos. And that is one of the most important choices you're ever going to make. Continue towards your inner true north, aligning with your intuition, and choosing yourself.